Personal accountability is a choice we all have to make. It's about taking ownership of the decisions we make and living with the authentic results. For each of us, when it comes to being accountable, we reach a state of contentment differently. Our standards of individual expectations in this regard vary based on the level of personal commitment and responsibility that we're willing to absorb. Because after all, we are the authors of our own story, and holding ourselves to account and to our own standard of excellence is how we all individually prosper and eventually collectively grow. The question is, do we have the individual fortitude in order to be sustainably successful? And the answer for all of us comes on an individual basis. For Justin Crane, he spent 12 years in the military as a Special Forces veteran. It was his passion. He started as a rescue swimmer, where he rescued multiple people as a result of Hurricane Katrina. In addition, he also worked for an elite military unit overseeing and executing special operations missions in Iraq. He left the military due to medical reasons, which resulted in a deep depression, which allowed him to let the vices of alcohol and drugs take over his life. Crane says that he was the perfect example of a victim mentality and letting it affect every aspect of his life. And now he's turned his life around and is now focused on helping anyone to change their mindset and reduce and cut out all the negative self-talk in their lives. He's been transforming people and their visions of their lives for more than 2 decades now. And Crane joined me this week to share a bit about his story of redemption and how he hopes his individual experiences can act as a catalyst for positive change for so many deserving people. It's an inspiring and inspirational story of triumph and perseverance, which I'm happy to share with all of you right now. So without further delay, I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Fantastic. Well, Justin, if you're ready, I'm super excited to begin and engaging in conversation with you all about your life journey in the service and everything in between, my friend. So I want to wish you a good Monday, and it's great to see you this afternoon.
Oh man, I'm so thankful to be here. Anytime I get a chance to get in and share my story and meet other people, it's amazing. So I appreciate you having me on your show and being able to talk and share my story.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Justin, let's dive right into it, my friend. I know that you spent about a dozen years in the military, and you started as a rescue swimmer, and you said it was your passion. So tell me about that portion of your life and how it impacted you, my friend.
Yeah, so I joined the military because growing up, like you either people go to college or they don't figure out what they want to do. And school wasn't something that I was really interested in, and the military was. And so I wanted to do something that was going to be fun and exciting. And it was either be a SEAL or rescue swimmer. And I chose rescue swimmer. And I don't know why, because I didn't really know how to swim. So I went through all the training, became a rescue swimmer, got through it, and then yeah, I had a really eventful career, man. I got stationed in Pensacola where I did search and rescue down there, and went through 3 hurricanes, got rescues in Hurricane Katrina, and then after that, I went on to a command up here in Virginia Beach that screened to do special operations. So we support all special operations overseas. So I deployed to Iraq 5 times, and I was still a rescue swimmer, but I was over land doing rescue type missions. And so we would do insert extract for all special operations teams. So going after bad guys, we were their way in, their way out. And then if they ever get in trouble, we would go and help them and get them out of there. So the last part of my career, that's what I did, was doing special operations missions from 2007 till 2010, and then started having a medical problem, and I went on to a shore duty where you don't deploy, and I taught people how to survive in the water. So I taught survival training to people, to like pilots and air crew. Every year they have to go through and qualify. So that's how my career ended, is getting a medical retirement out, because I started getting vertigo and hearing problems and that type of things. But I was so appreciative for the time I got in the military. I think back on it, I was like, man, it's like a dream come true, like to be a rescue swimmer and then actually get to do rescues and do the stuff that I trained for. That doesn't happen a lot with a lot of guys. So I feel very blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jester, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today was I wanted your perspective on the concept and notion of both inclusion and acceptance of other people. Because, my friend, I was at the age of 9, my friend, I was told by a doctor that I wouldn't be able to walk throughout the duration of my life because of the severity of my cerebral palsy. But one of my big goals in life is to create as many bridges of inclusion and knock down barriers towards inclusion when I can. So I'm fascinated to get your perspective on inclusion and acceptance, because when you serve in the military, no one cares about your political affiliations or where you come from in life. It's all about getting the mission done. So I'm curious to ask you about your definition of inclusion, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, so I think inclusion is it's all like it's all your concept, or it's your thought on how you perceive life based on how you were raised and how you were brought up. So I think at a young age you're indoctrined to your environment, right? And we're really, I think, bound by limited beliefs. So, and once you get to the age to, because like as kids, like we all want to be like, you want to be a doctor, you want to be like a professional basketball player, and when you're around the age 12, you don't. There's no one that's stopping you. You can't, in your mind, you're like, there's no way I can't be this. But then at a certain age, our subconscious mind comes in and we start thinking for ourselves, and we use other people's beliefs as our own. And so we start to block ourselves off from our dreams and goals and wishes that we once thought. And so we start living, I feel like we start living other people's lives. Like, so your parents want you to go to college, and they think that your only way you're going to be successful if you go to college and you get a good degree. Well, people, I feel like, give up on their own dreams because they're bound by the limited beliefs that they've been taught. And the only way to get out of that is you have to change your mindset. You have to change the way you're thinking. And going through the military has kind of like taught me that. I didn't think that I could get through rescue swimmer school because I didn't know how to swim. I literally had to work my ass off in basic training to become a good swimmer, to get this down. And then I had to go on to rescue swimmer school and get through all the training. And I didn't think I could do that, but I kept telling myself in my mind, there's no way I'm going to give up. And our mind is so powerful. So if you can envision something and you put in the work every single day to get there, it can happen. And you can be either torn down by your thoughts, by negative thoughts, or you can have positive thoughts. And if you're putting the action towards something every single day, you can achieve anything that you want. That's why, like, you know, Amazon and Apple and all these major companies are built because someone had a dream and they worked their ass off and they didn't take no for an answer. They didn't listen to the outside world. They listened to their inner conscience that they could get this done.
Yeah, and just building on that, Justin, I'm wondering your thoughts on how perseverance and tenacity are interconnected.
Yeah, man, like you just gotta, like, for me, when you're trying to reach a goal or something that's really big, you got to control the controllables, and all you can control is what you do every single day. And you have a list of goals, and you know, like, okay, I wanted to become a rescue swimmer. Well, in order for me to do that, I have to show up every single day and I have to win the day. I have to accomplish these tasks. I have to get these things done. Then I move on to the next day. Where I think people get caught up is they start looking at the big picture, like 2 to 3 months down the road. They have no clue how they're going to get there. And so self-doubt sets in and it takes over and it can eat at you. So you can't control the future, but you can control the day and live in the moment and do everything you can possibly do to set yourself up to be deserving of the end goal that you want.
Yeah, and just what is your sense of ambition and wanting to serve others come from? Where does that come from for you?
Well, for me, I think so I didn't know my real dad, but I had a really good stepdad growing up, and he was a minister, and I was in the church, and he was a recovering drug addict, and so he helped a lot of people in the jail in my local county, and then he did marriage counseling. So I was always in the church, and I was seeing him help people, and then just I think it was just kind of like in my DNA to, like, I always wanted to help people. And then going into the military, becoming a rescue swimmer, and the best feeling in the world is to be able to help someone out. I feel like it's I don't know if it's selfish because it feels so good. Like, I would rather take someone else's pain so they can feel good. Like, it's something that's like that's built inside of me. And like, once you get your first rescue, you help someone out in need, or, you know, give someone advice, and it clicks and you see them change their life. It feels amazing. And I think the best thing and best gift on the earth is helping others.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Justin, I live my life through the prism that, you know, resilience is the answer to the test when adversity strikes in life, my friend. So I'm curious, how do you define the word resilience, and how do you think it can help us overcome adversity?
Yeah. So you just got to realize that adversity is going to happen. You know, like life is tough, and it's all your mindset, and you have to be ready and prepared for it. Just like you have to, like, anything in life, you have to train for. Like, if you want to get in shape to run a marathon, you just can't go out and run a marathon. You're going to have to train for it. So you have to build your mind. And anytime a stressful situation or a hard time comes along, you need to be thankful for that. You need to be like, okay, God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is putting me in this situation because I've asked for something. So maybe you need strength. So you're going to have to go through this hard time to get strength. Or maybe you're having money problems. So you're going to lose some money to learn how to manage your money a little bit. But I think a lot of people get caught up on the problem and feel sorry for themselves instead of taking it as a learning lesson. And how can I grow? Every time you grow is when you go through a hard time and adversity. So a lot of people need to be more appreciative and live in the moment and enjoy the process of these learning lessons that you're given. And it took me a long time to figure that out. You know, it's easy to play the pity party and be like, oh man, my life sucks. I'm in this situation. I'm in this situation. It's like, stop focusing on the situation and start coming up with solutions on how to fix them.
Yeah, I said just building on what you just said. What does it mean to you to live life in the moment?
To live life in the moment is, in order to do that, you have to, first off, if you have anything that you regret, anything that's in your past that's holding you back, like you've done something bad, you have to forgive yourself. You truly have to forgive yourself, because you can't do two things at once. You can't progress forward and live in the moment if you're stuck on the past. So the first thing is you have to forgive yourself. And then to live in the present, you have to make yourself happy. You have to cut out everything that makes you unhappy and make yourself happy and stop worrying about the future. So it's really controlling the controllables. That's all you can do. And people get caught up in the past, which causes depression. People worry about the future, which is cause anxiety. And all you can do is live in the present, do what you have to do every single day to make yourself happy, and enjoy the times that are coming your way. Like, for so long, when I was worried and I was stressed out about the things that I did in the past, I was missing time with my family because I wasn't living in the present. I was missing time with my son because I was so stressed out about my job and stuff like that. So you just got to be, you gotta learn how to let go and only control what you can control, and everything else will take care of it. Whether that's God, the universe, whatever you believe in, you do what you need to do, and everything else will be taken care of.
Yes, sir. And now I know you help teach anyone who wants to sort of shift their mindset and get rid of their negative self-talk and
Mhm.
really get their life into shape. You work with those people. So tell me about helping people shift their mindset and what fascinates you the most about working with a wide variety of people.
Yeah, it's crazy on how the mind works, and it's crazy on like how you can have the same person go through the same thing, and you can have someone that has a really negative mindset and a really positive mindset, and see them take a different shift in life. And it's really comes down to have a strong mindset is being honest with yourself. Okay. So, like, the reason why you're negative all the time, the reason why everything's going wrong for you starts internal. So if you're constantly letting yourself down, like it's so simple. Like, if you say you're going to get up at 5 in the morning and then you don't, that ruins your subconscious mind and you're letting yourself down. So you can't even make yourself happy. You can't even hold yourself accountable, which is going to make you just in this negative flow state. But the moment you start making yourself happy and you're positive inside, then positive things happen on the outside. And that's all a shift in mind. It takes training, like to change your mind from limited beliefs or change your mind from a negative mindset takes working with someone to help crack the code to get you, in line. But it's really answering your conscience. Your conscience tells you right from wrong. And whenever you're denying your conscience and you're not listening to it, you're going to be negative. You're going to be unhappy with yourself. And that's going to be pushed off into others. It's going to be pushed on the outside world, and people are going to notice that. But whenever you're in line with your conscience and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, the right stuff, you're going to be putting out a positive vibe. People are going to want to be around you. They're going to want to figure out what's going on with this guy that's so positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Justin, I'm a big believer that making a personal investment in yourself or a commitment to yourself is an important sort of strategy for advancement. So I'm fascinated to ask you if anyone watching or listening to this is struggling with making a personal investment in themselves or a commitment to their sort of destiny in life, what would you tell them about the importance of making a personal investment in yourself and how important that is?
Yeah, so I get asked this all the time, and I have a lot of successful people that are in business, and the number one thing they say is, the first thing you can do to make yourself happy is you have to fix yourself. And personal development is the number one key. And for me, the number one, if you're out there and you're struggling and you need help and you want to change your life, the first thing I think you need to do is get some type of physical fitness and invest in yourself that way. Because to me, that's like the key to success. Because if you can get fitness down, so if you invest in a coach that can get you in shape, that can work on your mindset, get your diet, get your nutrition down, that's going to take a lot of discipline. When you see someone that's in really good shape, you know that person has discipline, he has commitment, and that can carry over to every aspect of your life. So if you're needing change and you're down on yourself, the first thing you can do is invest in someone to help transform your body, get yourself in shape. And that's going to, the more you get in shape and the more you hold yourself accountable and you show up every single day and you follow these habits that they're going to be set for you, you're going to create discipline, and discipline is going to create a life for you that is going to be positive. There's nothing bad that comes out of being disciplined. There's nothing bad of choosing the hard path over the easy path. So if someone that can get discipline down, and fitness is the easiest way to do that, that's the first thing I would do if you're trying to look into personal development, is get yourself in shape first.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Justin, I'm going to ask you to personally self-reflect for just a moment and tell me, when you look at your own personal life and you really want to express gratitude and joy for what's happened to you so far in this life, how would you express joy for yourself personally? And I'm also wondering about the people that have impacted your life the most greatly, my friend.
Yeah, the way, like when I reflect on my life, I'm a very appreciative of that I'm still alive. Like, I've been through a lot, and I've been, I don't want everyone thinking that I've been happy. I was at a point where I was wanting to kill myself, right? So I've had a lot of personal development that I worked on, and I'm so grateful for life. And I believe in God, and I believe we're all made in his image. And whether you don't, like the universe, whatever you believe in, we've been given this life. And the best way to honor it and to show gratitude is to take care of it and to become the best version of yourself you could possibly be. Whenever you become the best version of yourself, then you can share that with others. And that is the greatest gift you could ever do, is to be a walking example of what it is to be a good person. And so the way I show gratitude is every morning I get up and I reflect and I thank God for my life. But then I look at the things that made me unhappy the day before, and I try to be a better person that day. And I just try to improve, and I show gratitude by just trying to be a better person, because that's what it's all about. And then, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. And, I'm a person that believes that, life is an opportunity to be impactful. I truly believe that in life we're all given sort of our moment of impact, or our moment to etch our fingerprints of difference into the sand. So I'm curious, when you look at your life to this point, what would you define as your defining moment of difference?
I think my defining moment is saving myself from myself. Um, like I had, if you looked at my life when I was in my worst time, people would look at it and be like, what are you talking about? You have a beautiful son. You have a great supporting family. You have this amazing job. And I hated myself because I was letting myself down so much. I was an alcoholic for 20 years. I was addicted to Xanax. I was numbing the pain that was inside of me. And this happens to a lot of veterans. And I think the best thing and the most thing that I'm proud of is I was able to overcome that and not become a statistic, someone that just killed themselves and took their life. And I'm able to now help others to not to get to that point. That's my goal in life, is to help as many people as I can to know that there is hope, to know that like you are worth more, and to turn their lives around and get them back on the right path, and to enjoy their life and not be miserable, and to teach them that what I've been through, so they don't have to go through it, so they don't have to struggle. So that's, saving my life for my own self is like my biggest accomplishment, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that in the work that you do, you help people eliminate the
Yep.
vices that are sort of bringing them down in life. And as you said, it was a personal journey for yourself specifically. So talk to me about eliminating the vices in our lives, and what does it mean to you to be an elite man of character? So what do those two things mean to you?
Yeah, to be an elite man of character is, I mean, you got to really take a look at yourself, and have extreme ownership of yourself, and you got to lead by example. So as a man, we need to be a provider, protector, and if you can't take care of yourself, if you don't have yourself right, then you're not going to be able to do that for anyone else. And so when I talk to people about their problems, I have them take an inventory of everything they don't like about themselves. And it normally comes down to vices. Like, I don't like that I smoke. I don't like that I drink. I don't like that I watch porn. I don't like that I do this. And I'm like, okay, well, what value does that stuff give you? And it's really like, well, nothing. Okay, well, cut that out. Cut all that out and watch how happy you be. Success is subtractive. So the more you take out, the more successful you're going to be, because these vices that everyone has, they serve no purpose. And so whenever you're making yourself happy and you're aligned with your conscience, you're a man of character. Like, you're a man that someone wants to be around. You're a man that someone would take advice from. But like, if you can't even lead yourself, you can't even make yourself happy, there's no way you're ever going to make anyone else happy in this life.
Yeah, absolutely. And Justin, as we've been discussing today, uh, you know, life to me, Justin, is all about choices and making elite choices in life. The, when I talk to people, I tell them that we're all given sort of a life compass, and we can put it to the direction that we want to go, my friend. So I'm curious, when you think about the qualities of elite leadership or
Mhm.
cultivating elite leaders, what do you think about it? What does elite leadership mean to you?
Man, elite leadership is someone that leads by example. So you can't be a good leader and not have your life in order. So every good leader that I've had is, number one, has their life in order, like their personal life, their spiritual life, and their work life. And so to lead a team, you got to be able to get them to come together, and no one's going to listen to someone that doesn't walk, or doesn't, walk the talk. So you got to be able to lead by example. Number two is you got to be able to listen. Communication is a two-way street. A lot of people like to talk, 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 but a lot of people don't like to listen to their people. So to be able to use, if you're a leader and you're leading by example, and then you're asking for input by your people, and having emotional intelligence by knowing your people and figuring out what makes them work harder and what make than the next person, and then being a mentor. Like, a leader is just not someone that barks orders at someone. A leader is someone that's going to want to take someone and take a team and accomplish a task, but also develop those people that were below them, so they can eventually move up and take their spot, and that leader can move up. And so I think a leader is being someone that, like I said, is an elite man of character that can bring people together and accomplish a task. And you have to have those three things. You have to be a lead by example, you have to have the communication, and you got to have emotional intelligence to learn how to work with people and get things done.
Yeah, and my second to last question for you today, buddy, has to do with the concept of strength. When you look at the world today, Justin, I'm curious to ask you, what brings you the most hope? And then conversely, when you look at the world and you look at the current state of the world, if you had an audience with people that made decisions about the way we live life today and really formulating their sort of values or priorities
Mhm.
in terms of closing the gap of division and sort of this territorial mindset. Because, one of the reasons, Justin, I wanted to start this podcast was because I looked at the world and I said, there are too many things trying to divide us instead of bringing us together. So when you look at the sort of defining strength in life, I'm curious, how would you define it? And how do we uh, create more opportunities for a united vision, if that makes sense?
Yeah, when you look at the world, there is a ton of division, and I think it begins with our leadership at the very top, but then also it starts with just each individual person. And like it's crazy that sometimes it takes a tragic event. I don't remember, like when 9/11 happened, it's like the country came back together and everyone was united because some bad has happened, and it sucks that it takes something like that for us to bring us together. But I think um as individuals, if you're living life the correct way, just like I say, like living like life through your conscious and being a good person, and you have to be accepting that we're not all the same. You're not going to think the same way I'm going to think, but just because you have views on one issue and my views are different doesn't mean that we can't get along. But what I see is we have too many people fighting and they want their like word heard, like they have to be right. And I think a lot of it is just accepting that like you don't always have to be right, because like who says that one person's right and one person's wrong? So I think we need to like do better job of fixing our local communities and trying to change people and get them on the right mindset and give people hope. And I think what's happening right now is there's there's this problem in the world where everyone's scared. Like there's everyone's so scared and they don't feel like they can do anything for themselves. Everyone's relying on everything else. And I think we just need to bring like unity back. We need to like care about people more, and we need to have more compassion for people. And I think that's what's lacking. Everyone is always out for themselves. What's in it for me? And the reason why people are so empty inside is because when you're in it for yourself, you're never going to get happiness. Whenever you start giving, giving more, giving back to the community, giving more to people, that's what you're going to receive. And if we had more people that are more giving and caring, that wanted to change lives and actually help people, then we would have this united country again. But right now we just have a bunch. I seem like it's just a bunch of individuals that are caring about themselves and how they can get themselves forward. And it's crazy right now. But I still have hope because I'm working with people every single day, and people are changing their lives. And I'm a part of a big group of a community of coaches that are changing people's lives and helping people. And there's still a lot of great human beings out there. It's just we need more people to kind of change that mentality and stop worrying about themselves so much and worry about the community as a whole and how they can help.
Yeah, absolutely. And Justin, my final question has to do with your own personal and professional legacy and how you want your legacy to be defined.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think every man wants to create a legacy, right? You don't, when you die, you don't want to just be like forgotten. And that's why like all the great leaders in the world have like statues or roads and stuff named after them because they did something great. For me, I want to be known for helping as many people as I possibly can. Like this is this coach mindset fitness coach is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and I want to help change as many lives as I possibly can. And I want my kids, my son, to think that I'm a superhero. I want him to grow up and want to be just like me. And so, yeah, I want the people around me to think of me as someone that cared and made a huge impact in the world. And I want to change as many lives as I possibly can. There's no limit to the number. Like I have a lot more years to live, and every day is going to be dedicated to helping people.
Yeah, absolutely. And, life is all about paying it forward, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely, my friend. And I want to thank you, my friend, for engaging in a thought-provoking and a comprehensive conversation about life and showing up in life and maximizing our fullest potential, my friend. And I also want to thank you for your service for the country. It's most appreciated, and I'll give you the space before we say goodbye to each other to tell me if people want to get connected with you, my friend. What's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, so they can get me on Instagram. It's JustinCrane_fit is my handle on Instagram, and that's where you can find me, and that's where I'm at. And so I'm putting out content every day to share about life, about fitness, about mindset, all that. So JustinCrane_fit.
Well, fabulous, my friend. I want to wish you the best of luck on your ongoing mission to positively impact and influence the world, my friend. You're off to a running start, my friend, and I felt honored and privileged to engage in conversation with you this afternoon. And I want to thank you for being here. It's most appreciated.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you for having me on your show. You asked some really engaging questions. I really appreciate the questions; those are really good. And thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.